Hey everyone, this is Steadfast 2277 with
James.
And today we're going to show you how to install fuel filters on his Duramax.
What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be changing the fuel filters on this truck. These are the two water this is the water filter, and this is the sediment filter, and this is for the Fass lift pump. And then you got this replaces the stock filter. The stock filter is an AC Delco, runs you about 60 bucks. This is a mod. You have to buy a kit. Kit costs about 100 bucks, but the fuel filter itself is a better filter, and I believe it's a 2 micron, and this filter costs about 25 bucks, 20 to 25 bucks, depending where you buy it. These filters cost about 20 a piece. So what we're going to start with doing, we're going to put a catch pan down here for when we take the filters off and drain out the diesel fuel. And it's good to have, this is a oil filter wrench adapter to a tool to take off the oil filter, and a rag is very handy too. First, what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to clean everything up. Wipe down what you're going to be putting all the filters back on. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to oil the seal that comes with the kit. We'll install that up here. Make sure the old ring, the old O-ring still isn't on it, or the filter won't seat right and it'll leak everywhere. And now we're going to put the water separator on. And now we're going to install the fuel filter. We're not going to tighten this filter all the way up because we have to bleed this system. So you're going to tighten it pretty much snug and then back it off. Alright, the previous filters I had on this truck were both water separators. So when I got the new filters, they were a little bit different. I got one water separator and I got one fuel filter. So the fuel filter is going to go closest to the cab, and the water separator is going to go closest to the rear tire. Now, when bleeding the system, which is very important, you're going to want to tighten your water separator all the way up, and you're going to want to turn the ignition on and let the pump run. You're not going to want to turn the truck over. You're going to want to let the pump run on the on position. Now, you're going to keep the front filter, which is your fuel filter, you want to keep that cracked open a little bit so it purges all the air out. And then once you start getting diesel fuel coming out of the filter, you're going to want to tighten it all back up and let the pump run again. And then you can start your truck. Now we're going to replace the cat fuel filter. This is located in the engine compartment on the LB7. To be able to run these cat filters, what you have to do is you have to buy the kit that allows you to run this instead of the stock filter. The difference between this and the stock filter, this is on 2 filter, which filters a lot better than the factory AC Delco filter. Plus, this is about $20, $25, and the original AC Delco filter goes for around 60 bucks at the GM dealership. Now, the difference between this and the AC Delco is the AC Delco one allows you to run a sensor for the water. When you get water in the fuel filter, it kicks on a light. This one doesn't allow you to. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take this inner wheel well plastic out, and by doing that you undo all the plastic clips, and you take the screwdriver, you pry it in the hole, and you're going to pry this out, this first one out. Well, these suck to do if you don't have the proper tool. Getting to the fuel filter is we took down the inner wheel well on the passenger side, and you're going to take your fuel filter wrench, you're going to put it onto your filter right there, and you're going to crack it loose and take it off. filter off of the adapter. The other one was cranked on there very tight, so we had to use a vise to take it off. Now, since you have this off, you want to clean all your seals. You want to make sure all your seals are there, and then you're going to want to oil up your seal, and you're going to want to put your adapter right onto your fuel filter. And on this fuel filter, this has the portholes. You want to make sure they're lined up with the portholes on the filter as best as you can. I put it on nice and snug. You don't have to over tighten it, or you're gonna have the same problem that we had, and you're gonna have to use a vise to remove it, and it's just gonna be a big mess. Now, you don't want to fill these up with diesel fuel because you're gonna risk contaminating the fuel inside. So you're gonna want to put this in, and you're gonna want to stop priming it so you can purge all the air out, and then you're gonna be able to start your vehicle. Now that we got the attachment and the filter on, now it's time to put it back onto the truck. You're going to want to go back through the fender well. Be very gentle. And screw it on like an oil filter. So now you got the new filter on, and now what you're going to want to do is you want to crack the bleeder bolt, and you're going to want to stop priming it. So now the bleeder bolt's cracked, and now you're going to want to stop priming it by pushing this top primer in. You're going to want to keep doing this until the diesel fuel comes out of that bleeding bolt. So now we're pretty close to the filter being full, and I pump it the last couple more times. Now diesel fuel is coming out of that. What you got to do is you got to open and close it, keep pumping, and then open it, let the air out. And now the priming bubble is getting very hard to push, which is a good sign. Now you're going to want to close the screw. You want to pump it again. You want to get the priming bubble as hard as you can. And let's try starting it. Now that you started the truck, it was a little hard start because it's the first time starting it with the new filter on. You're going to want to take your rag and you're going to want to wipe down all the excess fuel off the filter. You're going to want to check for leaks, tighten it if you have to. You're going to want to inspect it, definitely make sure there's no leaks, make sure it's tight enough, and then you're going to be able to put back your fender molding. Plastic. Bobby. To conclude this video, all the filters have been put on. Here's a good example of some of the sediment there was a lot of rust and water in these filters. What's nice about these Fass filters is they have the nice little adapter at the bottom to when you open this, which these are all seized up because they're they're rusted shut. When you open this, it sprays out all the fuel from the bottom of the filter out, and you're going to want to put it in a catch pan, and it cleans out most of the water that you have. And in New England, it's very important to change your filters frequently, because they say to replace these filters every 30,000 and replace the fuel filter in the engine compartment every other oil change, which would be around 10,000. And what happens, it's a good idea to change these earlier than 30,000, because up here in New England, you're going to have a lot of rust issues and a lot of sediment issues, and it is something so cheap that you could do to make your truck last so much longer. And for these LB7s, it is very important to make sure you keep up the maintenance on the filters, because the injectors are very sensitive to sediment and rust. And with these older trucks, you're going to have that rust in the tank, you're going to have the rust in the lines, and to prevent stuff like that, you just want to keep your fuel filter changed and up to date as much as you can.
So this concludes our video today on informing you how to change the fuel filters for your Duramax diesel. If you like the video, please hit that thumbs up button, comment below, and hit that red subscribe button. I'm Steadfast 2277 with
James.
Take care and have a nice day.